So just to catch anybody up who doesn't know, this movie was shot in 2017, was supposed to be released in April of 2018, but here we are 2.5 years later finally seeing this movie. What's up everybody, I'm Johnnie Omega, back with another movie review, this time talking about the last X-Men movie as we currently know it, the New Mutants, so let's get to it. 5 teenage mutants are being held in a secret facility and are told that they are there to help overcome the dangers of their powers. But as strange things begin to happen, they soon realize that things are more sinister than they appear to be. So let me first start off by saying, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. In my reviews, I like to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and then my overall thoughts. So starting with what I liked about the movie, despite the fact that this movie's been pushed back numerous times, and also the rumors of the reshoots, what's always kept me interested in this movie is the fact that the trailers are good. It sold you on the fact that this was going to be a very different superhero movie than you're used to, and for better or worse, that's exactly what you got. This movie leans into the horror elements hard, and the best way to describe it is X-Men meets Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Another thing that I liked about this movie was not only the characters, but the way that the actors portrayed those characters. Now some of these characters were stereotypical, and they did play up those stereotypes, but all the characters were different and they really worked well together. The director Josh Boone also directed A Fault in Our Stars, and he seems to have a really good handle on realistic interactions with characters, especially young ones. And that's usually not a big deal, but sometimes that can be the difference between liking a movie and not liking it. The action scenes were good too. I really liked the display of powers on screen. No matter how hard this movie wanted to stick its foot in the horror genre, it was quick to let you know at certain parts of the movie that at its core, it is a superhero movie. As far as what I didn't like about the movie, there was only a few things, but those things were kind of a big deal. The biggest thing, hands down, without getting into spoilers, is the fact that this movie suffered from the lack of a real villain. Not having a proper villain really made the movie fall flat at the end, and even though I wouldn't say the ending is bad, it definitely was a disappointment. On paper, when you look at the concept of this movie and compare it to the synopsis of the other X-Men movies, this easily should have been one of the better X-Men movies. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. Another thing I didn't like was the predictability with certain aspects of the movie. There were certain things that were just telegraphed and you saw it coming a mile away. You get a bunch of teenagers in a confined space for a long enough period of time, and somebody's gonna hook up with somebody. And about 15 minutes into the movie, you knew exactly which two was gonna be. And to be fair, Josh Boone might have tried to make it subtle, but you'd have to pretty much not be paying attention to the movie to not see that coming. Another thing that I didn't really like is the fact that they hinted at a certain character. And to be honest, I'll admit this is really more of a personal pet peeve because this isn't the first time that they've hinted at this character. And I'm a little disappointed because I'm not going to be able to see those hints actually come to fruition because I really like that character. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but any hardcore X-Men fan is going to know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as they see it. So in conclusion, I like the actors and I like the way all the actors played their characters. As a whole, there were issues with the story, but I liked more about the story than I didn't like. Overall, the movie wasn't great, but I loved the way they were going with it. And the number one reason that I did not want Disney to buy Fox is because of a lack of diversity. Had Disney owned Fox 3 years ago, we would have never got this movie. And even if you didn't really like this movie, you definitely have to give it props for trying something different. And even though there's not an actual end credit scene, this movie does end in a way that definitely had me interested in what would have happened next. Because you gotta remember, this was originally planned to be the first movie of a trilogy. And I wouldn't be surprised if the character that I said was hinted at earlier was the primary focus of the next movie because it is the most logical step. But unfortunately, things don't always go as planned. All that being said, even with all its flaws, I'd still say this movie is worth a watch. So comment below and let me know what you guys thought of the movie. And also, what's your favorite X-Men movie? Keep an eye out this weekend and you'll find out my answer as I rank all the X-Men movies from worst to best. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up and click that subscribe button to see what's coming next.